And welcome back to another episode of Gaming with Yule. Of course, I'm Yule. Yeah, we're just going over a SPA review for last week. The basically the Las Vegas game versus Seattle. Uh, didn't come up too good as always. Still having difficulties with this team. Got to figure out what we're gonna do about the weak points that we got coming up. You know, just couldn't stop him, man. I mean, he was a good user, but we got to figure out what we're going to do with this defensive line, man. And of course, we have a few spots that we got coming open in the linebacker position, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I had to switch that up to a three linebacker set instead of just two, and having the other linebacker side line up on the outside. So I believe that's hurting us a lot. Um, it's supposed to be a 4-3, but my opinion, that's more for a blitzing on the pass versus actually stopping the run. So yeah, we have to overcome that problem, man. I mean, just not doing too well with this defense. Offensive wise, we're still not doing too well. I mean, we'll have an up and down game where we'll perform real well at the quarterback spot, and then we have a dud the next game. So this was one of those dud games. I know we've been having a lot of them, but it's I'm new with the team. They're new with me. I guess you can call it as getting to know your coach and trying to figure out the right plays for different people. So, like I said, we're just gonna keep on trying. That's all we can do. So let's go ahead and get off into some of the stats here. And we have the of course, first quarter 10-0, second quarter 3-0, third quarter 14-0, and of course fourth quarter we actually won 10-3. But by then it was too late. The damage had already been done. As we can see here, we have offensive yards for the Raiders 411 to my 205. We have rushing yards 261 to 42. So that was a real big killer. I mean, the pass killed us, but you also got to take consideration the running game, man. I mean, couldn't stop him. Just ran right up the middle on us, big gains. He was averaging good gains. He was throwing when he was supposed to throw. I mean, it was just terrible gameplay on our part. Passing, he had 150 to my 163. We had the first downs 10-22. So that's why I said that running game, man. I mean, he was able to get all those first downs. That didn't come from passing. A lot of times when you do a lot of passing, you're going to see 15-10. But, running the ball, you're going to see the 20, 30, you know. So, punt yards, got 5 for him. Kick return, we actually started running the ball out of the end zone this game to see if that would make a difference because we was already losing by so much. So it wound up being 58 yards kick return for me. Total yards gained 416 to 263. This is another key that we had problems with, and that was the turnovers, man. That's why I said we have a good game where we have 2 to 3, and then we have a dud game where we just throw that son straight to the defensive back. So we wind up turning the ball over 7 times. He only turns it over 3. Third down conversions, running a lot of third downs. I mean, couldn't convert. He got 3 to my 2. He was just doing a good job at blitzing on second down, pushing us back to where we couldn't convert third down. So, I mean, he played us to the T. Used everything that he could to his advantage. So that's signs of a good user. So I mean, we can't complain, can't take nothing away from that. I mean, it's football. That's what you want to do. You want to come in with a game plan, stick to that game plan, execute that game plan, and hopefully you come out on top. So red zone percentage. We had 50. I had 33. He had 2 red zone touchdowns to my 1 red zone touchdown. And field goal red zone was 1. I don't even think I got in field goal range. So, I mean, Like I said, he did his duty. His team did what they came to do, and they came in, shut it down, and went home with a win. Penalty yards, we didn't get penalized for anything. He had one for 15. I believe it was a pass interference, if I'm not mistaken. But, still, I mean, 15 yards for whole, well, we played 12 minutes a quarter. So, he took care of everything. And you can't, can't be mad about the way this game went. I mean, he was dominating, kept the ball on the ground, passed when he needed to pass. And it is what it is. So you got the 32 minutes, 24 seconds time possession for the Raiders, 15 minutes, 32 seconds, 36 seconds for Seattle. So, I mean, that's why I said, man, he just came in, dominated, kept the ball away from me, didn't give me any opportunities, kept me down on third down. I mean, this is the sign of dominating defense. So let's get over here off into the player stats. We'll go ahead and look at mine since they're probably measly. Um, got Drew Lock. I don't know. I don't think I'm re-signing his contract next year. I mean, he probably make a good backup, but money wise, I wouldn't want to spend that much money with a guy's just sitting on the bench, especially if I know he's gonna come in and nut up. So I had to get some quality player back there for the second string and go ahead and draft someone to take care of us on the first string. Hopefully, we can draft somebody that's gonna be fairly decent that will be able to start for us. But if not, we'll just go ahead and look for us a veteran and give the rookie a year to get his stuff together and become a starter by the following year. Because normally we play 5 seasons. I don't know if we're gonna even be able to do it because this Madden has more glitches than I don't know what. So I know a lot of people been talking about stats not being recorded and draft classes freezing up, stuff like that. So we'll just have to play it by ear and see how far we get. But I believe that's going to be the game plan that we're going to go with as far as the quarterback position. I mean, I don't know if Eason's contract is up. If not, then we'll keep him on the roster. Maybe he'll be a good second string to come in. And maybe, we can beef him up a little bit and get him to start, for a few games till the rookie develops a little bit more. That's if we don't get a starting rookie off the top. So I hope we get a good pull from the draft in that position. So going on to the rushing, he kept Mr. Walker on the wraps this week. I mean, normally he averages at least 75, even if we lose. But this week he only got 33 out of 16 attempts. He was only averaging 2.1 a yard, man. And 2.1 a carry. I'm sorry. Broke three tackles. Longest was 19. Well, I'm sorry. Longest run was 14. He had 19 yards after contact. So yeah, he just pretty much locked us down because we know we couldn't pass, couldn't deliver the ball. We kept on getting intercepted. So he knew we had to run the ball. So that pretty much put it on one side to where all he had to do was stop the run. We was gonna throw an INT to him if we threw the pass. So it was just one of those things you got to go through, man. I mean, it is what it is. Penny, he had 2 attempts for 9 yards, averaging 4.5. We should have kept him in, but Penny fumbles a lot. And his team was bringing big hits. Of course, it's the Raiders. They're going to have big hit players. I mean, you don't want to just send a small guy up the middle when you know he's going to get clobbered by that linebacker. So, we tried to stick with the power game, and it just didn't work for us. So I believe that was it as far as our carries on the running back position and rushing. So we'll go ahead and look at the receiving. We had Lockett come in, 3 receptions, 82 yards. Rack was 47. Run after catch was 15. His longest was 44. DK Metcalf couldn't get him open. He was doubling him. 3 receptions, 36 yards. I mean, he's had a bad season because everybody we run up against is always doubling this guy because he has the only X factor ability as far as on the offensive side of the ball. So I mean, it's just simple. Double team DK, force us to throw to other people, and you already know who to cover. So we're gonna have to get some more weapons to make stuff happen next year. Because I mean, he's a big guy. He's not really a speed guy. I mean, he has good speed, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe his trait is uh, playmaker. If I'm not mistaken. So I mean, yeah, you'll make plays, but we got to get you a little beefed up on the speed a little bit more. Maybe we can start using him and just lobbing the ball up. Hopefully, he'll just come down with it with that height. I haven't looked at his jump ability, but I believe it's pretty high. It's at least in the 80s. So if we could start targeting him that way and get off into it, maybe get him some more receptions because I don't even think he got 500 yards barely if he does because we haven't been able to get him the ball. Haven't been able to get nobody the ball except if they're coming across the middle. And like I said, that's easy to read. So there goes the 7 in the INTs. But anyway, he had 3 receptions, 36 yards, averaging 12 yards. Had 1 touchdown, which that was the touchdown at the end of the game. 2 after catch on the rack. Um, yeah, longest reception was 17. We had Nico Collins put him in at the slot, if I'm not mistaken. Was only able to get open once. Got a catch for 25 yards. Longest 25 yards. Uh, Disley, he had 1 reception, 21 yards. This is just terrible on our end on the offensive side of the ball. Not even be able to get the run or the pass. I mean, it was just shutting us down. 1 reception, 7 yards. And I tried to go to that young man a lot this game, but he just couldn't hold on to it. He was getting it broke up. So, it just is what it is. Just one of those games. Penny, he had 1 reception, 2 yards. Longest for 2. So come back here, look at the defense side of the ball. Of course, they had Diggs doing work, 11 assists, 3 solos for a total of 14. Had Brooks, his average, which I was shocked. I thought he was gonna have actually less than this, but he had 6 solos, 6 assists for a total of 14. 1 tackle for loss. You had Neal, he got in 7 assists, 4 solos for a total of 11. 1 tackle for loss. Nwisu, however you say that. I'm terrible at these names. So he had 2 solo tackles, 5 assists for a total of 7. 1 tackle for loss. Trey Brown got in there at the slot position. He had 3 solos, 3 assists for a total of 6. And we had Jones. He got in cornerback, of course. Sorry, two solo tackles, 4 assists for a total of 6. Blair, he had 4 assists, 1 solo, total of 5. Barton, he was non-existent. 5 tackles total, 4 assists, 1 solo. Then you had Woods with the same 1 solo, 4 assists for a total of 5. He had 2 tackles for loss though, but he had got hurt earlier in the game, so I believe that made a big part in it as being able to run up the middle. Because I mean, we got Blacklock there, got from Houston trade, but he's more of a rush defender. So he's a big guy, but he's not 330, 6'4". Somebody that's actually gonna clog up the line. So, I mean, he tried to do his best, but he's 12-year experience, so it might be time for this young man to retire, and we just get some new blood in there. We're gonna try to build a Blacklock, but I've got a feeling that we're gonna wind up moving Blacklock to the end next year, and maybe trying to draft for that position. As if we don't get somebody in free agency. But we'll just have to see. Like I said, I know my defensive ends is one of my weak points because if I'm not mistaken, I think both of my defensive ends speed is like 70, 67, something like that. They should be playing more defensive tackle. So we'll just have to see. I know we still got Shelby next year. We'll probably move forward around and let him take that defensive tackle's position since he fits it well at 310 pounds. So we'll just have to see, man. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff to play around with. Main thing is we got to look at this salary cap. We got a lot of salary to work with. Just want to bring in some good stars. This re-signing of this year on the Madden has been a little crazy because normally we use manual trade. So this year we're not doing the manual trade, and these guys will leave if you don't pay them right, or even if they're just not satisfied with being on the team, they will leave. So it's just going to be a toss up to see who's left because we're not doing too well. We're not winning a lot of games. That brings down morale. And hey, who wants to be on a team that doesn't win? So you know, we just have to see how it all plays out, man. Got Taylor. He had 2 solo tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Ford, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss. Robinson, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss. So I'll have to look at this guy. Maybe he can help us out. I really haven't really looked at the linebacker core this year. I kind of just left it the same. I did try to pick up Griffin in the free agency. That way we could have a little depth and have some speed back there. But just gonna have to check this guy's stats out. Maybe he might make the difference. It says he's a future starter, so I know players with these tags have been performing real well in this game. So just have to see what he brings to the table, man. Muse, he had 1 solo. I've been trying to work that fellow up. I do know that he has 90 speed. As a linebacker, that's gonna be great for us. We just gotta get his awareness up and get some of the block shed up. Cause if I'm not mistaken, I think he like 66 or 67 overall rating. So we're just gonna try to get. That's my main focus, to get that man built up, because I think he'll be a great addition to the middle linebacker. That way, maybe we can give Brooks a little break, or even move Brooks to the outside, and let him dominate there, especially with the rush. Griffin, he had a quiet day. He had 1 solo attack. Excuse me, one assist. That's another one of the right ends that we just had to stick somewhere, because the other right end, he just didn't have enough speed. So that's a big problem with this team. As far as defense, the ends cannot get in to put pressure on the quarterback. So we've been having to put pressure on the quarterback using the linebackers, and that leaves the middle open, and he could torch us all day. Of course, Blacklock, he got in 1 assist for the 1 tackle being counted. We had Amandi, he had 1 INT. We got to figure out a way to get this young man into our game plan. I know in real life he got traded to the Eagles, but I like this guy. I mean, he's not the fastest guy, but he plays real well. He's a solid player, even if you want to keep him on your roster as a backup. Solid guy, young guy. I mean, he makes stuff happen. And I believe that is all for our team. So let's go ahead and get off into these Raiders, man. Let's see how they just dominated us. Start out with the passing as always. Of course, you got David Carr. I mean, sorry, not David Carr. Derek Carr. A 102.7 rating, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. His longest was 38. Completion percentage was 86. He 13 out of 15, man. Well, I said he took the ball and only threw it when he knew he had somebody open. He wasn't forcing passes. I mean, we couldn't shake him as far as blitzing in. Just a good player. And he played us to the T with this guy. I was expecting for more deep balls, but it was more short passes. It was just consistent. And it's hard to beat consistency. All right. We got rushing. We had White. He had 14 attempts for 100 yards, averaging 7.1 a yard. Fumbled once. Broke 1 tackle. Longest was for 19. Yards after contact was 22. We had Drake come in, 12 attempts, 77 yards. Um, Averaging 6.4. I'm just shaking my head because I didn't realize that he had all these running backs that got so much good yardage. I mean, that's crazy. He ran with 4 different people, and 3 of them got over 50 yards. So that just goes to tell you that, hey, we got to do something defense. We cannot let this happen. 2 people, really shouldn't even be 2 people, but when you got 3 averaging over 50 yards in a game, I don't know what we're gonna do with that. But like I said, he had Drake had 77. Then you had Jacobs with 15 attempts at 65 yards. So I mean, he just kept it on the ground. We could not stop the ground game. This is crazy. All right, Jacobs, he had a long for 18, 22 yards after contact, 1 broken tackle, 1 touchdown, averaging 4.3 a carry, 65 total. You had Bolden. He had 2 attempts, 20 yards, 10 averaging 10. 1 broken tackle, 7 yards after contact. Longest run was 12. So yeah, that would make the big difference right there. I mean, I'm so used to seeing 2 running backs doing this, but not 3. So it was just bam, bam, bam. And we didn't apparently that's the whole reason why I confused our defense. Well, we didn't know who he had back there running. So like I said, we just had to try again, man. We had Waller. He was wind up being the top receiver with 4 receptions for 70 yards, 1 touchdown. Like I said, he wasn't throwing deep. He was taking short routes, killing me with it. So it was hard to read this guy. It was hard to read old Cookie. But yeah, we had 4 receptions for Jacobs, 30 yards, 31 yards, my bad. Longest was 13. You had Odell Beckham, 1 reception, 21 yards. Run after catch was 7. His longest was 21. You had Renfro. He had 2 receptions for 20 yards. Run after catch was 7. Longest was 14. You had Drake, 1 reception, 5 yards. Maru had 1 reception for 3. I mean, like I said, it was just short game. Short game killed me. So let's get off into the defense. Let's see what we had over here, man. We had Diablo, 3 solo tackles, 2 assists, total 5, 1 INT. Jones, 2 solo tackles, 2 assists, total 5, 2 tackles for loss. You had Abrams, 2 for 2, total 4, 2 INTs. Boring, however you say that, 4 assists. Cox, he had 3 solos, 1 assist, total 4, 2 tackles for loss. You had Crosby, 2 solo tackles, 1 assist, total 3, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack. Yassine, you had 3 assists, 1 INT. Nichols, 3 assists, 1 tackle for loss. Hobbs, 1 solo tackle, 1 assist for a total of 2. You had Perryman, 1 solo tackle, 1 assist, total 2, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 INT. Uh, Rockrill, however you pronounce that, he had 2 solo tackles. Brown had 2 solo tackles. Farrell had 1 solo tackle. Molnar, he had 1 assist, 1 tackle, 1 INT. Harmon, he had 1 assist. That was it. I mean, it was just people getting into good position. That's what hurt us the most on the defense. Because it ain't like they would just had a whole bunch of tackles like we did. We was just one-sided on different people. But his was just spread around just like his offense was. just get the right personnel in there and make the right call on the play and, execute it. That way we couldn't do anything. So, yeah, that's a quick review of how this game went. Like I said, we'll just keep on trying next week. And yeah, just have to see how it all goes. But yeah, just thanks for joining. Like I said, man, we have a lot of football left to go. So hopefully we can overcome the same thing that just been happening week after week after week after week. So um big shout out to the SBA family, man. Just come and tune in, support your favorite team. Like I said, we try to play sim football same way you see on television. Hopefully the Seahawks are playing a lot better than me. I'm really not a Seahawk fan. I'm a Houston Texans fan, but I got this team, so we're gonna have to work with them and rebuild and try to just go through the motions. But like I said, you can always catch the games at Quarter Mob 25 at Twitch. We just randomly stream. You can always jump into Discord, chat with us. It's a lot of guys that appreciate the support. But hey, we just gonna have to try again as always. Each week, just try something new until something that falls into place. But mainly, I kind of had a feeling that I was gonna have to do a little fixing to it. Playing with the Texans, you kind of got handed a team every year, except for this year. They got a good team, but they don't have a quarterback, in my opinion. I'm not a Davis Mills fan, but it is what it is. But like I said, we'll keep on trying with these Hawks, and maybe we can get something going. At least try to get 4 wins for the end of the season. That way it can boost up the morale a little bit. Maybe we can get some of these guys to come back. Right now, it don't look like too many of them are coming back unless we just paying the hell out of them. So, like I said, just tune in. Twitch TV. Hell, you pretty much can Google anybody with SPA and enjoy the games. We have 2 different leagues: SPA Legacy, SPA Infinity. Different users. Some are the same, but just come in, chill with us, get in the chat, support your team. But this is your Brenner. We'll just try to catch you on the next one. Hopefully, we have better news than this. So, like I said, just tune in and support your boy. So we out of here. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see y'all on the next one.